Hi, my name is Michael Dennis. I'm a rep for the Next Step agency. I wanted to do some videos showcasing some product because as a rep, I would normally go out and talk to people about product and what they might want to be getting, any sort of new products from the companies I represent. And that's not really possible because, well, do you want somebody who's been traveling to every distributor in the city dropping by your business today? Probably not. So I wanted to do some quick videos, just show a couple things, um, and represent a couple lines here. One of the lines I represent is called Dentec Safety Solutions, and Safety Specialists, sorry, and they are a PPE company that specializes in everything from hard hats, hearing protection, protective glasses, uh, down to mosquito repellent, sunscreen, and hydration. And one of their big lines is respiration. Now, one of the hottest products right now is N95 masks, and they're hot for a couple reasons, and I'm going to stop using the word hot because it seems very inappropriate at this point. Um, Hospitals need these masks. So Dentec does make these masks, except hospitals need them. We are completely tapped out. Dentec is completely tapped out on these right now in the middle of this pandemic because they are immediately being taken for hospital use. And a lot of tradespeople have been using these masks for a while. And the question is, should you really be using these masks? Now, I know they're cheap, they're disposable, use it, chuck it, move on. But it's actually not that cheap when you think about it because you don't need to be chucking out a mask every day. And it's pretty wasteful that way. You can bill it onto your customers and everything, but you don't need it. And in terms of hospitals, they need that. They need it to be disposable so they can chuck it out, get the germs out of the way. And also, they might not be good for what we need it for as tradespeople. I know in my previous job, I did not use a lot of proper PPE. I didn't use a lot of, I never really used respiration protection because what we had were basic N95 masks and they were uncomfortable. They fogged up my glasses. They didn't have the exhalation valve, which helps with that, but they'd fog up my glasses. They wouldn't fit well. I'd be adjusting it all the time, and it would be annoying. A lot of times I would just need it for quick things, but I would just skip it and think that I was being safer, which in retrospect was dumb for me for the amount of time that I should have been using these, using buffing wheels and spraying and all sorts of things like that. I should have been using respiration protection, but this was not the proper solution for me. And actually, we can do better in terms of tradespeople. For Dentec, what we are recommending are half masks. We have a couple different lines of these, and we have all sorts of different needs of these. So in short, the quick three types of them we have are the silicone 100 series, the the thermoplastic 300, and the elastomeric 400. Now I've got a couple different cartridges on here. The 100 and 300, these are just sample ones here. These have our OV, organic vapor cartridges with removable, replaceable N95 pads. So these are just an add-on onto this cartridge here. And you can get just little basic clips that hold just this. So instead of tossing out a mask, you're tossing out a pad. And it ends up being cheaper in the long run pretty quick, especially with how people are being jerks about hoarding all these and charging people and gouging people and being the worst kinds of people in the people that are trying to sell these with panic pricing. So something like this is cheaper when the prices are normal. So that's a good thing to remember, and you have some options there. I personally had some experience recently with the 400 series. I had loaned out my own mask to a friend across town who is a nurse who's doing some basement renovations, and I needed to get a mask out for doing some home renovations myself. I mean, product research. And I needed a P100 cartridge as I was dealing with potentially some asbestos vermiculite as my insulation. So I got this out and I was very happy. As somebody who hadn't used a mask before because it fogged up my glasses,
This fits extremely comfortable and worked extremely well for long periods of time as I was working with it. I don't get my face fogged up. I have good vision with it. The exhalation comes out the bottom here. You can probably hear me pretty well. I am speaking up a little bit because of the mask, but it's working quite well. And it's a great system. And surprisingly, it was cheap.
I should have been doing this with my old job. And lots of tradespeople should be using these more often. Now, guys say like, oh, well, I'm tough. I don't need to. Your kids would probably appreciate it. Your friends would probably appreciate it. It's better for your long-term health. And let's face it, there's a lot of things where you can be a tough guy and not use protection, but a lot of tradespeople are around this stuff daily. And the fact that we have this kind of, oh no, we're too tough to do that is really bad. It's bad for our long-term health, and it's just our pride getting in our way. It's comfortable. It's a good way of doing it. It kind of looks, pretty cool. Yeah. But so you probably know a couple of the companies in terms of safety and PPE, and there are, of course, a lot of companies that are out there. What makes Dentec different is it's a Canadian company with manufacturing in Canada and the States. These masks here are not being made in Canada, but these here are being made in Kentucky with the cartridges as well, and the little N95 pads in their rigs. So those ones aren't available. These ones are available, but these are actually a better long-term solution. And in terms of these masks, they're all interchangeable. I could take a cartridge off of this one and put it on another one. Take a cartridge off of here and put it onto there. And it's all interchangeable. It's all that same system. But what makes that system work great is just a couple little things. First of all, the air intake through the cartridge is large. It's not a small little hole. Some of these are like half that size. And basically you're breathing in and you're getting resistance from having a small hole. This hole is large, and then it also is kind of ribbed. And there's a spacer there that pulls across the whole cartridge. So some other competition, it's a small hole and it's directly up against the cartridge, and you're basically just breathing through that small little hole in the cartridge in the middle, and you're not getting a pull across the whole thing. So that's why it's got that design. Plus, it's offset to the side, and it's got 3 different points where you can connect it in. So you can have it set to back, downward, or up, based on where you want it. Forward, based on what kind of PPE you've got. So if you've got something that's going to get in the way, you can move it. And that allows you to fit more PPE more comfortably. So that's a couple of the quick things on Dentec. It's a great option in terms of like basic masks. These filters are cheaper than getting these disposable masks. And especially if you're someone dealing with glasses, if you're finding you're getting fogging up, if you're working somewhere warm and you want to avoid that heat on your face, it comes right out that exhalation valve. As opposed to these, which really that paper, that design of it is going to get warm. It's going to get sweaty. It's going to get uncomfortable. So I definitely would recommend for anybody who's looking at respiration for their trade, look at a half mask, because you probably should be using one anyway. You just never really approached it that way. You've always approached it as, I'll just get the cheapest thing, and you get a couple of these, or you get used to those. But in terms of these here, it's an extremely cheap investment to get into. And over the long run, it ends up being cheaper than those. And it's better for you. So That's a quick 10-minute video on respiration. If you have any questions, any other companies you'd like to ask about, I'm also a rep for Racketeers, Alltest, 21st Century Entertainment, which does data and AV, TSOC, and several other companies. Just let me know, and I'm happy to demo anything I can. I do have a lot of samples with me, so let me know. In terms of Dentec, I've got a lot of other PPE samples, hard hats, traction assistance, everything. So let me know. Happy to help. You can find me on Instagram, the next step mdennis, I believe, and protomd on Twitter. Hit me up. I'll keep making these, and hopefully people will watch them. Have a great day.